Okay, so here we're going to talk about DNA collection. So a lot of times you think about DNA collection being, from rapists or something like that, and certainly that would be a thing. But here we're not talking about the kind of DNA collection for in a criminal investigation. We're talking about the kind of DNA that we're collecting whenever we book people into jail. Now in Kansas, all felonies and select misdemeanors will get your DNA collected at booking. Um, so all felonies plus misdemeanor sex crimes and domestic battery, domestic violence crimes will get your DNA collected at booking. So whenever I take you to jail, I book you in on, domestic battery, and then the jail takes you and they ask you a whole bunch of questions, whether you're suicidal or if you're going to have a heart attack while you're in custody and such. And then they move on to taking your booking photo and your fingerprints before releasing you on OR bond. But the thing is they would, in that instance, they would also collect DNA, which involves a cheek swab for epithelial cells. Um, and with this one, uh, it's considered a form of identification rather than some kind of intrusion. We're not necessarily rooting around looking for evidence to uh, put you at a crime scene or something like that. And the thing is the DNA that we collect here cannot be used in a criminal investigation as far as this DNA sample itself. How this happens is the DNA is collected and it is submitted into CODIS, which is the DNA database. And so then, say I'm out here working a burglary and I swab some dried on blood on a broken piece of glass, and I send that in with like the homeowner's DNA for a known comparison. What the lab will do is they will conduct a DNA profile analysis of the sample that I took from the window and a DNA and profile analysis for the DNA collected from the homeowner as a known sample. Then they will compare those two profiles to see if there's a match. If there is not, then what they will do is they will run the DNA profile from the blood that I collected off of the glass through CODIS. Now, if it just so happens that my guy has been arrested for burglary in the past, his DNA is going to be in CODIS from a previous booking. And so then what will happen is they'll get a CODIS hit saying there was DNA collected from this person at booking at this jail on this day and time. And so then I get that lab report back from the KBI and I will go and apply for a search warrant for DNA. And I'll go and collect my known sample of DNA from that person that was identified from CODIS. So now I have a known sample that has a chain of custody to it for evidentiary purposes from the suspect that was identified from a booking DNA collection. And then from there, I will send that to the KBI and let them develop a DNA profile or analysis profile on that one. And then they will compare that to the blood sample that I collected from the window. And if it's a match, they'll send me that. And then I can go and arrest my guy. But the thing is this information is used, this DNA collected at booking is solely used for identification purposes, not for criminal investigatory purposes. So there I've kind of explained to you the complicated process involved with using it in a criminal investigation, but it is still helpful to a point. But like I said, it's not the DNA that we're talking about here under special needs is not the stuff that I'm collecting from a person out here on the street for a criminal investigation. It's the stuff that we collect from them whenever they come into booking for a felony, sexual crime, or domestic violence crime. So with that, that should get you wrapped up on chapter 6. Make sure that you do the reading and the review questions.